Just came out. Okay. Deb is here. Yeah. Wow. What a super good looking group. Tiffany, what about your dad? I know he's been late lately. Does he tune in to Father Kennedy first, or do you have any idea?
My dad is sick.
Okay.
He was in the ER yesterday. He's okay.
No.
Ah,
And yesterday was his birthday and he got
oh,
suspended in the ER.
oh my goodness.
So I'm a little sad today.
I know you are.
Oh,
Well, we're
okay.
going to send lots of love.
Yeah, give him our love, would you?
I
Yeah.
will, I
Please.
promise.
Send it out.
Yep.
Yep.
Please.
Please
Thank you.
do. Wow.
Okay. Who do we get? Ajna,
Mhm.
Tiff.
We have Deb. Deb
Oh,
came in.
Deb.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey. It's been a while.
Yeah,
We got
yeah.
Bentley still. Okay. I
Uh-huh.
think we got everybody. All right.
Say something about Bentley.
Well, I'm glad I asked about
Oh,
Tiff.
a little while ago.
I'm happy about that.
No.
Yeah.
So, Tiffany, real quick, did they have any preliminary findings of what was going on?
No, he pardon me if I lose it. I'm not having a good day.
Girl,
Okay, well, that's
no,
okay.
this is the place to come and let it go. You know that.
He fainted at the grocery store and was taken by ambulance to the ER.
Okay.
And so they checked blood pressure and, they did all kinds of shit and they didn't find anything. So he'll follow up with his regular doctor this week.
Okay.
Okay.
So he's home now and resting and feeling better.
Okay.
Well, it's like electrolytes.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, Brad. Well, coming out of the woodwork.
Where?
Must be.
Again, please share our love with him. We're zapping it his direction.
Yep. Okay, so got a little poem to start us with.
Hi, Brad.
Good.
We have a new person, Dinah, who is a double sister to Drew.
And Pam,
Pam.
unmuting everybody.
My glasses are stuck in my mouth. So we start out with a teaching and a reading, and then we will move into a guided meditation, and then we'll follow with a little more organized discussion than you just heard. This is kind of our Sangha building period, where, as you've heard, we catch up on what's going on in each other's lives. And even if you don't know the people, as you sit and listen, you come to have a sense of who they are, which I love. And it's been amazing to me that we've created this group has been in existence since COVID started, that we have formed such a strong spiritual bond with each other, even though most of us have never been in the same room with each other. And that shows you the power of spirit, and that spirit is not temporal. It's not spatial, it's everywhere all the time. So we're having a visible way of manifesting that spiritual connection. As a matter of fact, that's the name of my group. We are a not-for-profit in Shreveport, a church named The Spiritual Connection, because that's exactly what it's all about. So today we're going to look at things a little bit different. This is a poem from Rumi, and I'm going to go through it twice. I'm going to do some annotations along the way. Perfect equanimity. All right. Look how a mirror will reflect with perfect equanimity all the actions before it. Okay. Doesn't matter what's going on, the mirror is going to reflect it accurately and peacefully. There is no act in this world that will ever cause the mirror to look away. There is no act in this world that will ever make the mirror say, no. The mirror, like perfect love, will just keep giving of itself to all before it. How did the mirror ever get like that? So polite, so grand, so compassionate. It watched God. Yes, the mirror remembers the beloved looking into itself as the beloved shaped existence's heart and the mirror's soul. My eye has the nature of God. Hafiz looks upon all with perfect equanimity, as do my words, dear. My poems will never tell you no, because the mirror is not like that. And if God ever hits you with a don't, he has his fingers crossed. He's just joking for your own good. So
So that was
I'm not-
Hafiz, to clarify, instead of Rumi.
yeah, Hafiz, yeah. Same guy, different body. What this goes back last week, we talked about the glance, the look, the non-judgmental acceptance, and how liberating that is, how we need to be seen in order to develop our sense of self. That's the emergence of self in everyday society, George Herbert Mead, interactional emergence. So what we do is we take that, we're so used to looking to other people for how am I doing? And we carry around a view of ourselves which is constructive of all the times we've been shamed for who we are. Think about that. You're playing to an audience of shoulds and oughts and how you should be that were not in your head when you were born. They've all been instilled, they're all made up. They're social conventions. We often prop them up by saying this is God's will, and there's certainly a lot of that going on in our country right now. It's God's will that you be this way and that you don't be that way. But the bottom line is 2 billion years ago, there was none of that on Earth. 2 billion years from now, it won't be. Those are made up laws. Gravity will still be here. The sun will still shine, but none of that crap's going to be going on. So we take these things as givens. What will people think if I behave this way, if I do that? And it drives you crazy. If you want to look at why you feel crazy, look at the voices in your head, the nonstop inner critic telling you how you should be, how you shouldn't be, how the world should be, how the world shouldn't be. Okay? So in our meditation, we begin to learn to see that voice, and to begin to say, ask the question of who am I? And let's go back for some of the newcomers to the very beginning of Michael Singer's book. One of the more powerful teachings that he has, he says, quote Shakespeare, "This above all to thine own self be true, and it must follow as night the day that you cannot be false to any man." Shakespeare's time-honored words spoken by Polonius to his son Laertes in Act 1 of Hamlet sound so clear and unambiguous. They tell us that to maintain honest relationships with others, we must first be true to ourselves. Yet if Laertes were to be totally honest with himself, he'd realize that his father may as well have told him to catch the wind. After all, to which self are we to be true? Is it the one that shows up when we're in a bad mood, or the one that's present when we feel humbled by our mistakes? Is it the one who speaks from the dark recesses of the heart when we're depressed or upset? Or the one that appears during those fleeting moments when life seems so fanciful and light? From these questions, we must see that the concept of self may turn out to be a bit more elusive than initially presumed. Perhaps if Laertes could have turned to traditional psychology, he would have shed some light on the subject. Freud, the father of psychology, divided the psyche into three parts: the id, the ego, and the superego. He saw the id as our primal animal nature. The superego is the judgment system that society has instilled in us. And the ego is our representative to the outside world that struggles to maintain a balance between these two powerful forces. But this certainly would not have helped young Laertes. After all, to which of these conflicting forces are we to be true? Again, we see things are not always as simple as they seem. If we dare to look past the surface of the term self, questions arise that many people would rather not ask. Are the many aspects of my being all equally parts of myself, or is there only one of me? And if so, which, and where, and how, and why? Now, spirituality asks this question and answers it very simply. And it asks you to do something most of us are incapable of doing, and that is to begin to see that you are not any of the things that you think you are. You are not your thoughts. You are not your feelings. You are not your body. You're not the external world. Then the question arises, well, who am I? And the answer is, you're the mirror that Rumi was talking, or Hafiz was talking about. That you have an awareness, a consciousness that preceded words. You look at children, you look at dogs, they don't have words. I just read an article. They keep lowering how many bits of information we process consciously. And I used to think it was 128 bits a second. They've now lowered it to 10 bits a second. And they said that you may think you can think multiple thoughts at one time, but you really can't. That you really can only think one set of words, and that when you block out, when you pay attention to those 10 words, you literally block out all kinds of other things that are going on, because that's what you control, are the words. Now, you look at what stands against that, and your brain is processing 20 million bits of information per second through your body. Okay, I want you to hear that. 10 bits of information consciously, 20 million bits of information in the wisdom of your body. We have become so alienated from that energy in your body, which has evolved over billions of years, that is self-maintaining, self-correcting, self-healing. And we put the 10 bits of information going a second, our conscious mind, at war with the 20 million bits. And we try to decide how our bodies should be, how they should act, how they should behave. The body will be intelligent. The body will be beautiful. The body will act appropriately. The body will take risks. The body will be outrageously outgoing. All these expectations put us at war with what our body wants. Then we drag our bodies into the doctor and go, my body isn't working right. And the reason it's not working right is because we don't listen to it. We ignore it. We don't do what it asks us to do. Like, would you go out in the sunshine? Would you put your feet in the dirt? Would you take some time to listen to the bird song? Would you get out in the early morning light? If you would do that, I would treat you right. But if you don't put me in the right places where I'm in harmony with the energies surrounding me, I will never be healthy. I can't be healthy, but I need you to get me there with that 10 bits. That's all your 10 bits is for, is to get your body where it needs to be healthy. Do you hear that? And the beauty of old age, for those of us who are graying a little bit, that's the beauty of now, is that we get to devote the time to our bodies, to give them the love that they need. So let's take this another level. So when I'm looking, I am the witness consciousness. I am the consciousness that sees my body, that sees other people, that sees my thoughts, that sees my feelings. What is my relationship to be to that? It is to reflect that consciousness, that non-judgmental awareness. We've worked all the way up now to the point where we now see I am what sees. All right? Who am I? I am what sees. So when I take, Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote a wonderful essay entitled The Oversoul. He says it's like there's an eye in the sky, and when it looks one direction, it sees God. When it looks the other direction, it sees it's the true self. It sees correctly. It's that mirror that Hafiz is talking about. So this way I see God. When I turn this way, I see the divinity within me, not something to be corrected, but something to be seen non-compassionately, to be treated with respect, and to be learned from. All right. So as I begin to relate from that place where I turn around and now I'm no longer seeing God and the sacredness of the world, I turn that eye inward. I see the sacredness of my processes unfolding. All right. Now, as they unfold, allow them to unfold. So what we're going to do today is to work on giving all these internal processes space to simply emerge, float, and disappear. We're always trying to change our thoughts. I don't want to think this. I don't want that thought. I don't want that emotion. I don't want that bodily sensation. If you pay attention, all of that's going to change. It never stays the same. You're not feeling right now what you felt an hour ago. You're not having the same thought. You're not having the same emotion. Your body doesn't feel the same. So the beauty of this is that we begin to trust the process, trust the energy, simply allow life to unfold as it is. Allow yourself to unfold as you are without the guidance of this crazy monkey mind that's been instilled in us. I think it was Channing who talked about all of that stuff has been introjected. It came from the outside, it's been put in. Now we learn to view it with bemusement. It's just craziness. It's just stuff that your brain does to try and protect you. It's a defense mechanism. It doesn't have anything significant to tell you. You're sitting safe in your room. Nobody's harming you. You have food to eat, air to breathe. Everything you need is right here. You can ignore it for maybe 15 minutes, which is what we're going to experiment with. Does that make sense? Okay. So to give you another sense of what relaxing into this, so what we're going to do is do a Gestalt shift. We normally have the thoughts, the feelings, and the emotions as the figure. That's what we're paying attention to. Then everything else becomes the background. So I've always been looking for myself. Well, guess what? The reason you don't see it is you've always been putting it in the background. It's been the ground. It's never been the figure. So what I mean by this is, the thing that looks like two faces looking at each other, and then there's a space in between, and then the space becomes a goblet, and what was the faces becomes the background. You know that Gestalt shift? Well, when you quit looking at all this stuff here, then what's been in the background is who you really are. I am that awareness that all of this has been playing out on. So we call this witness consciousness. And Singer has a nice little description, and then we'll jump into this. What differentiates a conscious-centered being from a person who's not so conscious is simply the focus of their awareness. It's not a difference in the consciousness itself. All consciousness is the same. So we're not trying to be some super mystical beings. There's nothing supernatural about what we're doing. The consciousness, you have the same consciousness as a dog or a baby. There's nothing special about what we're trying to get to. It's just we're trying to start being aware of being aware instead of being aware of thinking. Being aware of my body, being aware of my being. Oh, aware of being, aware of aware. Okay. Consciousness is neither pure nor impure. It has no qualities. It's just there. Aware is aware. The difference is that when your consciousness is not centered within, it becomes totally focused on the objects of consciousness. But when you're a centered being, your consciousness is always aware of being conscious. Your awareness of being independent of the inner and outer objects that you happen to be aware of. This is what we mean by detachment. That's not me. That's just something going through my awareness. I am the awareness. That's the stability. If you really want to understand the difference, you must begin by realizing that consciousness can focus on anything. That being the case, what if consciousness were to focus on itself? When that happens, instead of being aware of your thoughts, you're aware that you're aware of your thoughts. You turned on the light of consciousness back on itself. You're always contemplating something, but this time you're contemplating the source of consciousness. This is the highest goal of meditation. Beyond the act of simple one-pointed concentration, for the deepest meditation, you must not only have the ability to focus your consciousness completely on one object, you must also have the ability to make awareness itself the object of consciousness. In this highest state, the focus of consciousness is turned back on itself. When you contemplate the nature of self, you're meditating. It's a return to the root of your being, the simple awareness of being aware. And once you're aware of consciousness itself, you attain a different state. You're now aware of who you are. You become an awakened being. It's really a very natural thing. You discover, here I am. Here I always was. It's like you've been on the couch watching TV, but you're so totally immersed in the show, you forgot where you were. Then someone shook you. Now you're back in the awareness that you're sitting on the couch watching TV. Nothing has changed. You simply stop projecting yourself, sense of self, onto the particular objects of consciousness. You woke up. Can I still say that? That is spirituality. That is the nature of self. That is who you are. I am awake. Remember my word. We hit the heart chakra. I am awake. I know who I am. I'm awake. I'm aware. And I open my heart to the world. I'm the mirror. That's why Hafiz says, how can my gaze be so equanimous? How can it treat everything with such equality? Because there is no little self trying to control. I only reflect back what is. Does that make sense? So let's really take a moment to sit back and do absolutely nothing. Just sit and watch the shit show that goes on when you simply breathe. Don't try to control your breath. Notice how hard it is to turn the breath over to the 20 million bits instead of the 10 bits. You know, like, oh, my breathing's too shallow. It's not diaphragmatic enough. It's not this. It's not that. No. All night long it breathes without your help. So let's settle into, trust the process, enjoy the ride. Without the use of hallucinogens, we can really attain these states on our own. Okay, so close your eyes if you'd like. And settle into the breath. And you let your breath anchor you in the present moment. Whenever you forget that you're watching TV, you'll know it because you lose touch with your breath. Come back to the breath without using words, just like when you lane shift in your car, you notice, you're aware that you've shifted, and you gently correct without criticism, without judgment. Lost the breath, back to the breath. No effort. And using the breath as an anchor, begin to let your awareness explore your body. Not trying to fix anything. But just like standing naked in front of a mirror, seeing what the mirror reflects. Feeling any hardness in the body, constrictions, tensions, any excess of energy. And using the in-breath, breathe space into those areas. And with the exhale, let whatever energy needs to release be released. Feeling the body becoming spacious. Experiencing it maybe not as an object and solid, but as a field of vibrational energy. And against the backdrop of the body as it softens, see the parade of thoughts and emotions that emerge. What the Buddhists call the mind-body, that your thoughts and your emotions are your body. They're simply ways that the energy of the body manifests. And begin to see the thoughts and the feelings having a wave-like quality. The way they pop up like clouds on a radar screen coming out of nowhere, no intention. But they do have a tremendous amount of compulsiveness. And simply feel that compulsion to act, to change, to do. All the laundry list that your body's generating because of its conditioning. And just Watch it unfold, nothing to do. I'm the mirror. All this drama is being reflected, but it doesn't concern me. Allowing thoughts to emerge, to run themselves out, and then dissolve in their own impermanence. Vanishing back into the process. Nothing to control. Bodily sensations. Same character. Allowing them to float in the boundarylessness of your awareness. Not identifying with the thoughts or the emotions or the body, just like a mirror, not leaning away from or toward anything. Each mind moment like a bubble floating in limitless space. Allowing yourself to relax back into pure awareness, sensing how vast it is, containing the sounds in the room, the sounds in the street, awareness extending to the stars. Your mind, like a mirror, able to expand and reflect the entire universe, is contained within you. And allow thoughts to soften and expand into this spaciousness. No longer intensified by your resistance, by your control, but allowed to diffuse. Here one moment, vanish the next. Our ability to live fully is dependent upon having the trust, the confidence to sit and allow things to unfold. Whatever arises in the mind or body, doubt, confusion, expectation, fear, frustration, simply energy being generated by the body's response to the world around you. No right way, no wrong way. No need to interfere. No need to direct awareness, because this awareness will pick up the car in the street without you directing it to. It's already there. Trust that. All the outer experience and inner experience all happening in the same boundaryless awareness. Extending to the universe and beyond. All your experience beginning to float like a dream. Beginning to experience the edgelessness of your being, not contained in the mind or in the body, but a point of awareness that exists everywhere at once. This is my true nature. All sensations rising in an awareness extending everywhere. This is the boundaryless awareness that is the true mind, which holds nothing, creates nothing, impedes nothing. Allowing all things to pass without clinging or interference. Simply watching the arising and dissolving. The fool on the hill. Watching the world spinning round and round. Body soft, perceptive. Sensations emerging in a vast spaciousness of awareness. Each moment changing of its own momentum. Unfolding from its own wisdom. The heart open, without judgment. Allowing all experience to pass through. embracing everything with tenderness, with a deep gratitude. Everything floating, arising and dissolving, just space. Just peace. Okay. So, Donna, this is the place for questions, comments. Stupid pet tricks. Anybody got stupid pet? There we go. Thank you, Kat. Yep. Caught that. Come on around.
Here.
Bring a cushion over.
Come.
I want to say thank you so much. That was beautiful. I'm gonna probably have to go. Not that was just wonderful. I love awareness and I love being here. Thank you.
Thanks,
We love you
Dorothy.
too.
See you tomorrow.
Okay. Bye bye.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
As a first experience, I was a little preoccupied because we have lawn people who come, and my partner inherited a habit from his parents of serving cookies and coffee or cookies and water. Changed the routine because it's getting warm here, so I was all ready to make coffee. So I was very happy to only have to slip away and give them some cold water, but. I was a little preoccupied. Am I going to be able to slip back into it? And I came just before the meditation, as you were describing it, came back, and was amazed that your words really resonated.
Well, thank you. And just to let you know, these have been very advanced teachings I've been doing for the last few months. We're going to go back to more fundamental sitting without guided meditation, which is really more the goal of things, but wanted to kind of give a flavor to people for the kind of things that can happen. So this is really what they call Raja meditation, which means the highest. And it's not particularly a hierarchical comment so much as it is more a sense of completeness, so that you have of kinds of meditation that emerge out of work, where you work not for the sake of recognition or reward, but simply putting your energies out for their own sake, which is what Gandhi did. that's the path of karma yoga. Then you have Jnana yoga, which is the path of the mind. You have bhakti yoga, which is the path of the heart. And then this one is where we really use the skills that we've learned to stay present, to stay open and aware, to finally relax back. And this is such a powerful tool. When I do it, I feel like my spine is fused to the earth. I do it lying down. I meditate lying down a lot. And I feel like my spine is fused with the earth, and that's all behind me. And then the universe opens up around me, like my core, my chakras are a bowl, and the whole universe is resting in that bowl. And it's just all space, and it's just all floating and expansiveness and freedom and joy and power flowing through and love radiating. It is, and being totally conscious of everything at once, thoughts, feelings, responsibilities, and we don't even entertain that as a possibility because we've been taught that that's what saints do. What we aren't taught is that's what your dog is doing. That's what your baby is doing. They don't get any fucking titles for being able to do that. And as a matter of fact, we think there's something fundamentally wrong with them because no, bad dog, you have to learn what I'm telling you. You're not good dog until you don't do that anymore, until you are a frightened but obedient being instead of an expansive being. Do that to our babies, such violence so early. To make sure they're proper human beings instead of human beings, and we are doing the right things to be acceptable. So these are radical acts of liberation. This is a violent political statement of rejecting all the constrictions that have been imposed on us and refusing to identify with them. Losing the labels.
I read an article in Yoga this week by a well-known yogi that's been around for years and years. And it was, this was Charlotte Bell.
Oh,
and she
okay.
talked about what is mastery in yoga. What is mastery? Does it mean you can do a full back bend from standing up, or does it mean you can pick your leg up and put your ankle behind your head?
Yeah.
What is mastery? And she had a couple of ways to define it, and one was one who speaks and listens to their body.
Yeah.
So, there it is. I feel like that definition could apply mastery of meditation, which is what you were sort of describing there, so we've worked our way up to this whatever level of meditation. We just speak and listen to the body and allow that to be as it is.
And my frustration is in not being able to say everything at once. But, we start out with the energy in the body, and we're back to now being aware of the energy in the body. So where we headed is to be that energy. Okay. And I think that that's kind of what she's saying, is that this listening is really the presence. So it's not listening the way we listen, thinking about what I'm going to say next or whether I agree with what you said. Is that reflecting back and responding. Okay, I may cry and I may not be able to say this. The Native Americans had the most wonderful political system, the Iroquois Nation, that's ever existed. They did not work on democracy. They did not work by consensus or any of the things we tried. What they did was they sat in a circle. And they did exactly what we're doing. You had the talking stick, one person talked, everybody else listened. but they listened not with their ears. The thing was that you were supposed to use your active imagination to say, this is a part of creation. This is part of God speaking to me. I'm going to let this resonate in me. And if I have resistance to it, I am going to lower my resistance because I need to hear this voice. And so the thing was that you went in to be changed, to be transformed by what you heard. They never voted. They simply responded instead of reacting. We need culturally to learn to do that again. We need to hear each other as part of the sacredness of life expressing itself that we need to let go of our resistances to and embrace and hear. Okay?
Is
So-
what you're talking about discernment, Bart?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's discernment at such a deep level that I think the word doesn't become applicable anymore. It's communion. It's communion. It's not a concept of truth or concept of direction anymore. That when a race car driver's driving 200 miles an hour and going through changing traffic conditions, that there's a discernment process of where they should be. That's too much interference, too much between the immediacy. This is an immediacy, a presence. I like presence more than discernment. Presence and getting rid of self and conditioning so that the response is that. Okay. I've lost the thought. Let's go on. It'll come back to me. Got too many things happening. ADD brain. I had 16 circuits.
Hey, Bart. So I had a question during the meditation when I was concentrating on the peace, to getting to that point of peace. And one of the questions that was arising was, is peace the highest ideal? Is that the greatest ideal? And it brought to mind some things I've been working on this week, which was answers to the questions of what is a successful life? I mean, this is kind of big subject stuff, but what are the components of a successful life as far as I'm looking at that? And I was kind of contrasting the idea of peace versus what makes me come alive, because I've been so searching for the peace, which has just been like, at all costs, get to the peace. But then I felt like I lost this component of what makes me feel alive here. Does that make sense? Am I opening up too big of a subject?
Yes, because you're treating peace as a concept and a goal, and it's not. Compassion is not a goal. Joy is not a goal. Alive is not a goal. The minute you make it a goal, you're 1,000 miles away from it. You're never going to get there. The way you get there is to realize you are peaceful right now. So the question is, it's not a goal. The question is, why am I not experiencing that? You're alive right now. The question is, why are you not experiencing that? And the answer is because of your striving. You're trying to get somewhere instead of being where you are. And when you move back into this, so when the teachers teach us about peace, joy, love, these are the hallmarks of awareness. Do you follow that? That's who my identity is. So when I relax and I let go of all my strivings, I feel more alive. I feel more aware. I feel more presence. So we've mistaken what teachers are trying to tell us this state feels like for what we should be striving for. And that's the difference between religion and spirituality. Religion tries to control, it tries to set goals, it tries to have a creed, it tells you how you ought to be. It's moralistic, okay? This is not moralistic. There's no right or wrong. As a matter of fact, right and wrong are the biggest obstacles to attaining this awareness. Because the minute you say this is right, I've now put the other half of creation in the wrong category. That becomes the shadow side of your personality. Okay? That's the stuff that I don't want to see in my mirror because that's wrong. So we could cover so many things up with our judgments and our categorizations that the mirror's not reflecting anything anymore. All
Yeah, I
right?
think part of why this is bubbling up for me is I have family here that have a lot of demands on myself and my time, right? And I have a particular person who feels very entitled to my energy. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, back off, back off. I need to be in the peace. Like I can't live in your chaotic world too much because it's pulling me out of this place that I've found that I'm so now protective of,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So listen to the word protective,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the minute you're protected, your defenses are up and you're blocking your energy. So in my effort not to reflect this energy, I now shut down my energy
Mm-hmm.
to protect myself from that energy. So this is a totally different approach, and that approach is get bigger. When you're this big, all that chaotic energy, instead of being a hurricane or a tornado, becomes a little dust devil. Gone.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, that's very helpful. And in fact, that's funny because I refer to this person as the tornado.
yeah, and they are. And part of the reason it's upsetting is I got that chaos in me.
Mhm.
Okay. And I'm sitting on it. I don't want to ring up. But I feel that's why I do it at the end of this thing. I try to act all proper for y'all because that's what you expect. But that's not who I am. Okay? Ask her. Yesterday she said, "Man, you're in a mood today. You haven't stopped talking for 30 minutes." And I said, "So you want to shut that down?" No, she didn't. That's why I love her. Rumi, stop acting so small. You're the universe in ecstatic motion. I'm going to say that again. Embrace it. Let it land. Stop acting so small. You are the universe in what? Ecstatic motion. I know Julie gets that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And all the other stuff that you're experiencing, bless your hearts, is you're trying to be such good people. Stop it. Stop it. Okay, be the universe in ecstatic motion. See how that feels. Try it for a day. What do you got to lose? Except your job, your marriage, your family, your position in society. Yeah, there are a few things that you could lose.
Yep.
I just want to say it was really amazing, Bart. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I wrote down a part of it. It was something that in order to, we have to trust. That's what
Yes.
you said. We have to trust. I don't remember what the first part was, but this is something that I'm always thinking of. And it's not that easy in everyday life, but it's so beautiful to just trust and the unfolding, you know, the unfolding of our own lives, the unfolding of the natural world. It really helps me. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you. And that's, you know, what should I trust? And that was a direction I thought about going off on. And because we're always going, well, can I trust God? You know, well, that's my concept of God and how God should behave. And then when God doesn't behave that way, I don't trust God, and not a good God or a loving God, because I didn't get the outcome I expected. Well, I can't trust Linnell. I can't trust my kids. I can't trust the government. I can't trust the news. I can't trust this. No, that's all. Can I trust? It's not what I trust. It's not the object. It's the trusting and allowing things to flow gives me peace, gives me connection, gives me joy, even in the midst of difficult times. Okay? It's like it's not going to all be okay. Hey, that saying drives me crazy. You know, tell that
All
to the
good.
people in the Ukraine. It's all good.
It's all good.
It's all going to be fine. No, it's not. But you know something? There are people in the middle of that who are much happier and much more peaceful than we are. And we need to ask why. Okay? How do they do it? How do they do that when they're starving? You know, the thing we had from White Eagle last time. You know, it's why are you so peaceful? Native Americans, the Africans that have had genocide practiced against them for 200 years, were able to do this because we still sing, because we still dance, because we take our bodies where our bodies want to be. We walk on the earth.
It's our form of resistance.
It's our form of resistance and rebellion. Exactly. Is to be peaceful. And I should get out that reading again. Is that so? Oh, we need to bow out. Okay. Before everyone leaves.
So people just.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you all so much for showing up. I hope we'll see you again. And Dinah?
Next Saturday.
I'd love it.
Okay, now.
So and what we do is we close with 3 rounds of Om and 1 round of Raspberry, which includes all of this too.
Get all the crazy out.
All crazy.
Here we go.
Okay, are we ready?
Deep breath in. Thanks, everyone.
Have a great week, everyone. Thank you so much for
Love you all.
Thank you.
Where's
Great weekend, you guys.
our love to Tim.
what's
I
your
will, I promise.
Love to Tim.
I will.
Love you,
promise.
Tiffany.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.